Hello, I hope you're having a great week. Welcome to the Midweek Tale-gate show, where we take topics about the church or faith or just encouragement boiled down to 5 minutes or maybe a little bit longer, but try to keep them as short as possible so that it gives you a boost to get through the week. And today, we're looking at the church as a whole and what does it stand for? What? Why is there so many different denominations? And just imagine for a second a team, a sports team, or um, some characters in a movie trying to go towards a common goal. They set their feelings aside to accomplish that goal, and how much they celebrate when they accomplish it. They put their feelings aside. That's what the church was originally designed to be. Even the book of Acts tells us that in a couple of places that the church, when it first started, was very unified. That the church as a whole took care of each other. If there was a need that got met, they met at each other's houses, broke bread, and it was just a good time. People loved each other, people's needs were met, and just over time, things changed. And the church itself, when we think of church, we think about the building and sitting in Sunday morning, hearing a couple of songs, hear somebody get up behind a podium and preach or teach. Maybe go to Sunday school. Some have mass, but most of us have some sort of experience with church, or at least the American version of church, or the Western version of church. And we've known it as a building, but that's not what it was at first. In fact, they didn't have a building until Christianity became legal sometime later after the apostles had passed away and Rome finally made it legal. And once that happened, the church became a political power. And we know that as the Catholic Church. And long story short, the Catholic Church started to become corrupt. And because of it, the early church fathers started reading scripture for themselves and said, you know what the Catholic Church is doing isn't right. And there you can go more in depth into it and do your own research, but I'm giving just a small snippet of what the church originally looked like. And then the early church fathers got together and said, you know, that what's going on is not right. And they broke away from the Catholic Church, protesting against the Catholic Church, which is where we get the term Protestant, because it was a protest against the church of the time, which was the Catholic Church. And while they had good intentions, they couldn't agree on, in my opinion, in my estimation, three main things. And that is How are you saved? How, how are you baptized? And how do you handle communion? Those are the three main disagreements, and they couldn't come together. So what they decided to do is they split apart and said, we're going to practice doing church and living the scripture this way over here. We're going to practice scripture over here, how we see it, and it all split apart until we have split after split after split. And while the church kept growing, it also kept dividing because people have disagreements, and it's hard for people just to come together. But that's not how it was. That's not how the church was supposed to be. It was supposed to be this unified body that loved each other. They loved each other, took care of the needs of everyone because everyone has a part to play. Everyone was given gifts to use to carry the cause of Jesus Christ forward. Instead, they wanted to keep their version of the church to themselves and say how we do it is right. And the other denomination says, no, how we do it is right. When it's all the same Jesus, it's all the same God. And when we come to realize that, when we put down the barriers, we can work together and accomplish so much more. The church works best when they work together. And if the world sees that we love each other and love them, maybe more people will come back. We will come to our circles. They might come to a service. But it starts with us learning to love. Love our enemies. Love our friends. Love our families. Love at all costs. And serve. Being a servant. But also preaching the word. If you have more questions, I'll be doing more of these. And I hope it encourages you, and I hope you learn something from it. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, hit the subscribe button, notify bell, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you for watching.